We get our athlete salute here. We want to welcome back for this massive gold medal match, Patrick Jorgensen of Denmark. And Patrick, could we ask for better?
Hard to say. It's hard to say no. Or yeah, or I mean, I'm so psyched. So I really cannot answer that question because there's so many good teams that have been out, but these two teams are so fired up today and they really want to go for gold.
Well, a lot of those good teams went out to France and Ukraine. The lineup for France will be Ronan, Gustin, Daniel Jerent, Yannick Borel, Alexandre Bardenet in reserve. For Ukraine, Roman Switchkar, Anatoly Harry, Bogdan Nikishin, Igor Reitzlin in reserve. It will be Bogdan Nikishin to open. For Ukraine, Yannick Borel. For France, Harry will close for Ukraine, Borel for France.
And this is going to be a very interesting bout, the first one, because Nikishin met Borel at the European Championships this year in the round of 16 and actually kicked him out. So I think that was definitely an intensive move by the Ukrainians to put him so that he opens the match and perhaps gives a lead for the Ukrainians so that they're not getting a bad start.
Well, they've met many times before in individuals and in teams, but this has always been a grudge match. Our first leg of 9 underway here in this gold medal match. Nikishin puts his mark. Won this match first. Lovely disengaged flash there from Borel.
And France is continuing the same style they've been doing all day. They just keep going for it. They want to fence. They want to win by fencing. They just don't want to go and play tactically, play defensively. They want to fence each match like it's a new one and try to make a lead and win the match like the true honorable way.
Borel picking up Nikishin's blade. And that was during the replay. Nikishin threw on the attack. Double our first.
And to anyone wondering why Nikishin made that flash, it's because there's this unseen thing which is called pressure. And Borel's putting so much pressure on Nikishin because he knows that at any time he can make a flash. And so you thought that Borel was going to go, so he tried to anticipate it, but it was just a trap. Now you can see he picked it up a little bit. Now he's putting a lot of pressure to perhaps make Nikishin go again, but more likely just to go straight for the flash. In my opinion, he's going to do it in just a couple of seconds. And there it is.
Strong start for Yannick Borel. If Ukraine and Nikishin were hoping to intimidate Yannick Borel, it didn't quite work out that way. 5 for Borel, 3 for Nikishin. We go to the second, Anatoly Harry on for Ukraine to face Ronan Gustin. We were talking earlier today, you were talking about from a team standpoint, when you face Ukraine, that, you know, in this match, it will be Borel to open, Borel to close. That's down to where on the side of the draw they are. But you can expect Borel to play that role.
Yep.
No matter what. But what was the thing you were telling me about Ukraine?
Yeah, so the interesting thing about Ukraine is today you can see here in the final that Jerent is finishing. In the quarterfinal, it was Switchkar, and in the semifinal, it was Raislin. So somehow, and Raislin right now is actually on the bench. So they have so much confidence in their fencers that anyone can be placed at any time, making them unpredictable. And then on the other hand, for example, for a matchup as we just had, maybe they anticipate that, okay, one fencer is better off starting than another, and then they can mix and match in that way. So you have two options. Either you place your team according to your own needs, or you place your team according to what you think the other one's doing. And I think Ukraine has the luxury of being able of doing both.
A halt is called before that hit lands. Tactically, does it help Ukraine in any way to get the Nikishin-Borel match out of the way?
Arguably. As I said before, I think they placed in Nikishin in the beginning to get a lead, because I think Ukraine really enjoys having a lead, not having to search for points and not having to attack. Because if they can get France to attack because they have to, then they know it. If France can choose where they want to fence in the piece, it makes them really, really hard to fence. So I think that's why they placed Nikishin in the beginning. Otherwise, I think Nikishin would be a good matchup against Borel for Ukraine.
Now, a card shown to Anatoly Harry
for passivity.
No, it's a passivity. The 1 minute shot clock had passed without a hit being scored because Ukraine is trailing France. They have picked up the passivity card, and that can play a role later in the match. But from a tactical standpoint, France can afford to sort of hold back, try and get another passivity card, get a point.
So Russia has the passivity pressuring, but in reality, I don't really think it's going to come that much into play, because 1 minute is a long time, and I think Ukraine's always going to try to, you know, find some sort of opening in France's game and try to find a way in, so as to make sure that they can get a hit when it's due.
Double.
And Gustin's fighting not to get overwhelmed right now. You saw he was just standing on his start line. He did not want to move back, so he's sending a strong signal to Jerent that, you know, he can move back, he can move forward. He shouldn't expect it to be easy.
Harry with a block out there to pick up his third. Gustin answers.
And they're fighting for initiative right now. So before, Jerent got Gustin to come forward because he did not want to go back. Now Jerent tried to move forward, but Gustin just denied him the piece, and that's how he got him on the preparation. And this is where you see the strength of France. I mean, they have Borel, who's an attacking machine. They have Gustin, who's a defensive machine. But both of them still have the other edge as well. Gustin can still make a really long lunge, which can surprise, and Borel can still make a parry riposte or a counterattack, which also can surprise. So it's very, very hard to know what to expect from these French people, and that's why all the teams are just trembling at some point.
Well, now that they have Daniel Jerent back in the lineup, we come to the end of the second. 10-7 the score, 5 for Ronan Gustin, 4 for Anatoly Harry, and it will be Daniel Jerent on for France. He has not fenced in more than a year until Estonia, I believe, the Estonia match in the preliminaries. I spoke to the French armorer, Martin Agile, during the break, and he said that Daniel Jerent showed up with his breeches and his shoes and his socks and his jacket, but he didn't have any weapons. So he had to go out and buy some blades, and then went around and bought some bits and pieces that he needed, and that the first day that he was here, the first 2 days that he was here, the French armorer sat and built his weapons for him.
Interesting. Very interesting. Maybe after a year he forgot that he needed weapons defense.
Well, I think he's looking at this as a fresh start.
Yeah.
Ducking counter there from Roman Switchkar. Which works to perfection.
And now you see the classical Daniel Jerent action is basically he's waiting for the tempo to take the counter tempo of the opponent. And when I speak of tempo and counter tempo, a tempo is basically an opening to go into your opponent before when he expects it, when he doesn't expect it. And I'm not going to underline the French culture for again, because right now Jerent has been attacking twice. It's been going bad twice, but he gets, first of all, like the message from his box that he should continue defense, and he does it. And he doesn't really show any signs of doubt. He takes perhaps a little bit more time than before, but he's still trying. It's not working, but he's getting close, and he's getting closer. So my idea is that he's going to continue because it's just part of his DNA, and they're saying, yep, you know, you missed the first one. If you had gotten it, it would have been your touch.
Well, France started the day in the quarterfinals against Korea, and Jerent was hitting on all cylinders. And again in the semifinal against Switzerland. He does seem a little tentative here in this gold medal match, but I'm sure he will overcome it. Well, Jerent in with the flesh attack, and Switchkar was in the low line, but able to come up, get the parry, land the hit.
So an interesting fact is that basically Switchkar has been having a great year since last year, where he was third in Mushi at the World Championships. And basically we've all really come to know him as one of the top 16 fencers, which is really funny because Jerent is the year where Jerent has not been part of the tour. So perhaps he's not been used to seeing him fence, and he hasn't challenged him, so maybe he doesn't really know what to expect of him. But he's still insisting, and this is where I said where the French fencing comes into play. He's been throwing 4 or 3, I think 4 hits, and now he's gaining 1 back. And he's insisting, and I think he's going to try again because that's just the way they fence.
Oh, lovely from Roman Switchcar. And yeah, it may be the newness, the novelty of Switchcar and not having faced him, not having seen him. And yes, over the past season or so, he has really come on.
But a really, really amazing bout by Switchcar, and this is where he's really been showing his class.
Time's going to run out here in the 3rd. We roll into the 4th. But an important leg for Ukraine. 6 for Switchcar, 2 for Daniel Jerent, and we go into the 4th with Ukraine holding the lead for the first time. And it will be Bogdan Nikishin back on for Ukraine to face Ronan Gustin. That was really impressive from Roman Switchcar.
Very.
The way that he handled that.
And the really, really, really precise foot hits.
And even when he was going for a foot hit, to be able to come up, get the parry, get the hit.
And this is also an interesting bout because I know these for a fact that these two have been fencing together, and I think it's kind of an even score when they meet to 15. And I think Gustin has a really good style against him because he's a very pointy fencer in the sense that he's using his tip a lot. He's putting a lot of, you know, insecurity in his opponent just by having a very dangerous tip. Whereas Nikishin is just so rock solid, and he doesn't really give any information. He doesn't really give much to the opponent. So that's why whenever one has had the off day, the other one has come out as a winner.
What happens when they're both having an on day?
Then you get a really good fight.
Yeah, Nikishin with the flash attack picked up by Gustin. Yeah, he gets his point out, leaves it there.
And this is also an interesting scenario. So now they're even, and with the new passivity rule, both of them are going to get the yellow card, but Ukraine already has a yellow card. So now
it will be yellow to the right and red to the left.
Correct. So maybe they're playing on it, maybe not. But basically, Nikishin has to go for it at some point because he has nothing to lose.
There's a double. It's our 4th in this gold medal match. Oh, lovely hit to the foot from Bogdan Nikishin. And so now Bogdan Nikishin will happily play for non-combativity.
Yes, because now it's just a yellow card for France.
And so Gustin must score within that 1 minute shot clock.
He still has 40 seconds, so it's plenty of time.
Double.
I really look forward for the FIE to install this passivity clock, because it's very, very hard for us fencers when we're fencing to keep track of how long time has been passing, and
well, it's not easy for us commentators either.
It's not easy even for the referees. So I really look forward to having some sort of clock somewhere. We had it actually at the Europeans, and some absolute clarity as to when the passivity card is given or not.
That will end the fourth with Ukraine maintaining a 1-point lead, 16-15 the score, and 3 for Bogdan Nikishin, 3 for Ronan Gustin. And we go to the fifth, and it will be Roman Switchkar on for Ukraine to face Yannick Borel. This should be interesting. This is the halfway point in this 9-leg match.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this was the semifinal last year at the World Championships. I didn't look it up.
You did?
I did not.
You did not.
So it's pure memory. I know both of them were in the semifinal at some point. And I know Limardo was second. And I know Nikishin was third.
And I know I was there, but it was in China.
And my guess is we're going to have a lot of points.
Is it individual or team?
Individual.
Borel brings us level.
And he's not going to stop now. We're in the fifth round. They have to go up all the way to 25, and I think Borel's going to go for it because his style fits pretty nicely against Switchcars.
Yannick Borel took gold, Ruben Limardo took silver, and Bogdan Nikishin and Roman Switchkar
took bronze. The question is, who kicked out Roman Switchkar? Ooh, this was really nice. So Switchkar actually put some counter pressure back on Borel because he's been seeing that it's not been going really well when he's going back and trying to get the parry. So he's trying to get the counter tempo, trying to get him on his preparation, and this was actually successful.
This is a replay in a team match of the second semifinal from the Wuxi World Championship. A double. And the score was 15-11. Switchcar off to straighten his blade. And definitely holding his own here. Well, there is a bend in that blade that is nearly fatal after that collision.
Still 1:28 to go and 9 points, and they're on 5-5, so they can easily go double.
Double. .25 is our target score here in the fifth. And at this hit rate, I can see where we could get there. Another double.
And Switchcar's really doing his job. He's trying to get Borel to finish, and then Borel doesn't really finish because he sees he's ready, and then he just goes into him because he sees that there's an opportunity for a double. And he's just 2 doubles away from safety.
Now, that's not going to be given.
No, it's not going to be given.
Was passed and well passed. Borel asked for a video review. Juan Carlos Rios Rivera of Mexico will go to the scoring table to have a look, but I cannot imagine a scenario where that would be. Let's have a look here.
But you can really admire how Switchcar actually got Borel to go, how he was completely ready. He got it in the 6th, and he just missed the back. And the remise.
So no damage done there, but Switchcar has done a great job here. Yeah, he was well past.
Oh, somebody has their shoelace undone.
Well, there's only 2 of them out there. Switchcar opens up that lead to 2. Wait, yeah, now the Assessor Registrar de Avila pointing out the shoelace.
Which is good because it's very it's very dangerous, and especially with Borel's style.
Juan Carlos Rios Rivera says, tie your shoe. Yeah, that could be unfortunate.
That could be very unfortunate. And with that many kilograms and that height and that podium, it can go really bad.
Very badly.
But he's gonna try, and I think he's really gonna give it a shot. Question if it's gonna be a double or single.
He's got to do something pretty quick.
Yeah, he's gonna try. He's gonna try for sure. Yeah, and he did.
He gets it. But all that does is bring the 2 fencers level at 8 apiece. 16 hits scored in this leg.
He's not gonna go for it.
He hasn't got time. Time's up in the 5th. And 8 for Roman Svitskar, 8 for Yannick Borel. And 25-24. We roll into the 6th, and it will be Anatoly Harry on for Ukraine. To face Daniel Jerent. Now Jerent underperformed compared to the rest of the day against Svitskar, but a lot of that may just be down to Roman Svitskar. We'll have to see what happens between Harry and Jerent. But, you know, we covered the end of the Ukraine-Italy match. And Ukraine did a number on Italy. Yeah, there was a big, you know, attempt at a comeback in the 9th leg. But it was a very controlling match for Ukraine. Then Ukraine faced China. They were down for 1 leg, 2 legs. Got in the lead, small lead, held it in a vice grip.
And then build on it.
So I've had a couple of people ask me the question, who's in the gold medal match? I said, France and Ukraine. I go, Ukraine? I say, yeah, Ukraine. And they very much deserve to be here.
They do. They have star fencers. They are all amazing technically. They can. There's nothing they can't do on a piste. They all have their unique way of doing it. They all have their specialities. So, you know, if they use it right, they can be a tremendous team. And I'm afraid that this is not going to turn out so well for Jerent, and I can explain why. Because he's a counter-tempo, and I think Harry knows it. So he's going to feed him the time, and you saw it twice. Once he went for the double, the other time he went for the peripost. And maybe he's gotten a little bit rusty, but I think he's going very often, as you could see here. It was
I'm beginning to wonder, seeing Jerent here, after seeing Jerent in the quarterfinal match, after seeing Jerent really being himself in the semifinal match, if maybe that year off is catching up with him here in this gold medal match.
I don't know if it's catching up, but it's inevitable that it's had some sort of effect. We've all been fencing, and we've been fencing every month a new competition, every month somewhere else, and fencing evolves. It doesn't stay the same. So if you're not following, then at some point you're going to have some sort of risk to get old in some way.
Well, Juan Carlos Rios Rivera sent to the scoring table for a video review. What are they looking for here?
I think they're appealing for the fact that Anatoly Harry is probably turning his back. But at this point, I don't think it's the case, because he's following the weapon. And second of all, he didn't have his back completely turned to Daniel Jerent. But what it also gives is, it gives him a little bit time to think, a little bit time to reconsider the situation, and to think about what he's going to do.
Right now, at this moment, he's on a -7 indicator. And that is a liability for France and their aspirations.
So yeah, I was going to say, yeah, he's a little bit more calm. Perhaps it's a good thing, but now I heard the trainer yell "bouge," which is move. And he used his legs straight after that. Because there's still the passivity clock counting. It's only a yellow card for France, so it's not anything alarming, but you know, he still has a job, and it is to fence, and it is to try to make points.
Yes, but that is, and there is one right there. But to have 2 yellow passivity cards up.
They only have 1. It was only Ukraine who won.
But for Ukraine, for France to be in the same position,
yeah,
lessens the negative effect of France picking 1 up.
Correct.
And, well, you know what I mean. And Ukraine suffering the consequences if they are level at the time. But they're not.
So now we're looking into a -3 for France or a +3 for Ukraine. It's not anything alarming. It's definitely manageable, especially in three matches. And what we saw between Switzerland and China was that, well, there was 1 point lead, but then Stefan came and did a 9-3 match against Wang, and this could happen again. Nothing's sure.
4 for Anatole Harre, 2 for Daniel Jerent. So 25-28 will take us into the 7th, and it will be Roman Switchkar of Ukraine up against Ronan Gustin. Gustin's got to make up 3 points here, or at least he's got to try. And Switchkar has been switched on in this match. So how tough is this going to be?
It's going to be very tough, but this is going to be a completely different match than the one we saw before between Borel and Switchkar, because Gustin doesn't make that many flesh, and if he does, it's with a point, and it's not so much with power, but it's with precision. And I think he's going to be a little bit more careful, and he definitely should look out for his foot, because there's been a big target from Switchkar. But I don't think there's going to be that many points. He's going to try like he does now, but it's going to be with minimum risk. He's not going to try to get too close. He's not going to try to give too many openings to Switchkar.
Well, big long lunge there. Andrei Kavrinyuk, Republic of South Africa, back out to referee the 7th and the 8th legs. You know, we're used to seeing Ukraine women's saber on the podium, but Ukraine's picked up 2 bronze medals in épée, 1 in men's, 1 in women's. Reitzlin and Kravitska. Oh, nice from Ronan Gustin. Just drew Switchkar in, timed it perfectly.
And exactly as I said, if you notice, their distance is quite big, and Gustin has a French pommel, so he has the length advantage, and he can therefore sneak some points without taking too much risk, without giving Switchkar like a lot to work with.
Now there is some height and reach advantage for Gustin, even without pommeling, but Switchkar gets his first there.
And I was just about to say the distance got a little bit close, so Gustin was still probably going to try to break the distance a little bit more, but then apparently it was more of Switchkar's plan to land a counterattack from a closer distance.
Double. That is our 11th double in this 9-leg match. Was that a double just then?
Nope, that was a single lamp. There was a single lamp by a switch car, and who's now found the correct distance and try to get Gustin to go a little bit less, like he's a little bit less critic. Can you say that in English? So he's just going for opportunities that are not as good as they were in the beginning.
Right. I am paying attention, but I was doing a calculation.
Yes. So it's really, really interesting because I think for France, seeing the next bout, which is going to be Nikishin and Jerent, I think Ronan Gustin has to go for it, and I think he will. And
double.
The perfect situation for France would be to equalize or have a lead, because I don't think Jerent is going to do very well if he's going to attack on Nikishin. I think we'll have one last action from Gustin, and then he's going to go for the break.
Switch car waiting for it, but he's not. He's going to leave it there. 32-30. Ukraine sitting on a 2-point lead and a 1-point pickup from Gustin. 5 for him, 4 for Switch car. And so Switch car ends on a +3 indicator. And Gustin on a +2.
And I think Gustin did his job in this one. You can argue, yeah, he didn't recover the whole lead, but as my teammate Frederick says, at some point you have to stop the bleeding. Yeah. And that's what he did. So he turned a negative spiral to a positive one, and maybe this is the confidence that Jerent needs to not doubt himself and to go all the way through and hit before he gets hit in the parry.
Well, this is a going to be key right here. If Nikishin comes after Jerent and Jerent does not do better than he did in the first and second leg, things could go very south very quickly for France. But there is Jerent out with first.
And if we're going to like conspire in tactics, then you could think, okay, we have a strong finisher in Borel. We also have a strong finisher in Jerent. Ukraine's going to be happy to lead. France is going to be happy by not being too much behind. So maybe he's going to try, but not too much. And he actually has, you know, all the time in the world to just give one passivity card, maybe try an action more. So he has 2 minutes now where, you know, if he really doesn't want to go for it, he doesn't kind of have to.
Nikishin gets that hit back. Jerent asks for his weapon to be taken by... Oh, checked.
Yeah, tested and then taken away. It had a 90-degree angle. It's pretty hard to fence with.
Yes, that is a very definite 90-degree angle. Well, Nikishin trying to play off the back line there.
And really nice to see that this time, actually what he changed from this bout to the other is that before he went for direct flesh, and now he actually goes for getting the opponent out and then taking a parapost or a beat attack if you want. And the question is if he's going to go direct now.
Double.
The French coaches, the French boxers saying, you're doing good, keep on doing it. They believe that it's the right thing to do to fence against Nikishin and try to recover more hits. It's really interesting to see right now. They're standing on both sides of both ends of the strip, right? So
yeah, 45-degree angle.
Yes, both of them on the right side of the strip, thereby opening up their stomachs but closing in their shoulders and backs.
Another double. We've got room to roam here as far as the target is concerned. It's 40 in the 8th. Little duck there at the end from Jerent, some body evasion. He gets the hit, we're level.
I think Jerent is happy with that. He's getting a little bit tired. I can see he hit his leg and his eyes are not on fire. And he did his job. He recovered. They're ending on a 10-point match between Borel and Jerent. And it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen now.
Well, much better there from Daniel Jerent, and at the right time, a 2-point net gain for France. And we go into the 9th and final leg level, 35-35. Anatoly Harry on to close for Ukraine. Yannick Borel on to close for France. And just looking here, Jerent ends on a -4 indicator. Interestingly, Nikishin ends on a -4 indicator. And it's all down to these two. Picks up the blade, tries to turn and find the target. He can't. And he's pushing it now.
He's definitely pushing it now. But at this point, there's no choice. There's 2-point deficit for Ukraine, and at some point during these 2.5 minutes that are left, Jerent has to change it, otherwise the match is lost.
Well, it's 2 points because on that last exchange, Harry just jumped in without much of a plan, in my opinion, and it was just 1 point.
That's correct.
Now it's 2 points.
And they start on 0.
There's one back. Nice use of distance from Harry. Takes a step back. Get to the upper arm.
And they're both so good at what they do. They're both so solid in their strength, and what's going to be decisive in this match is who's going to be able to use their weapons at the right time.
Well, when Borel just sort of puts his head down and charges in, all you can do is get your arm out and pray.
You mean parry, right?
Sorry?
You mean parry.
That too.
So
Borel is not to be denied here.
This is interesting because Borel's he has lit up Harry, and he's gonna keep on going for it. But Harry is trying desperately to get back some sort of momentum, some sort of something that goes his way.
Now Borel wants a video review for Harry turning his back.
And I think he's going to be right, because he turned his back without any hit, without any reason, basically. He had the blade, but, you know, there's no reason for him to turn around.
Well, he was trying to find the target there. But a card comes out. Yeah.
And once more, an attack without a preparation is not going to work against Borel, especially not when he's so ready to go in and go for the kill.
Yeah, and the problem is, the conundrum is that it doesn't matter what you do, Borel's going to charge forward.
Absolutely, and he has a reach, and he has explosivity, and he has a tip, and he's going to kill. And he's not going to let him go. He's going to close it, he's going to own it, and he's going to cheer. I can guarantee that for sure.
We started this ninth leg level at 35. It's not going to end that way. A total demolishment by Yannick Borel. And France is our 2019 men's épée team champion. And at some point, Borel's going to have to get up and shake hands.
And it's nice to see that all the Ukrainians actually went and hugged Harry and said some nice words, I guess. It looked like that way, saying, you know, you did what you could, and it was just not that time.
Yeah, well, no one was going to stop Yannick Borel.
No, he was on a mission.
Leg. Absolutely amazing. France needed it. France came and took it. They've got the #1 position here in Budapest. Now, we'll have to see what that will do to their team rankings. But it's got to put them in a much better position for Olympic qualification, wouldn't you say?
No doubt about that.
And, you know, you've got to give a ton of credit to the Ukraine team. They came out here today, knocked off Italy, knocked off China, and came darn close to knocking off France. They're going to go home with a silver medal. Currently, they're ranked 12th in men's épée team. This is going to help them there as well. It's not as critical to them in terms of teams, because Europe is such a crowded venue for men's épée team. But it's going to help all across the board, and it will give them good confidence for next season. But congratulations to the French team, and it's great to see Daniel Jerent back.
Yes, he's been missed.
And what a way to come back.
Yeah.
Come back from a year's break and pick up a gold medal at the World Championship.
And he's even crying right now. I think he's so emotional. I think he's been missing it.
Tényleg fontos megemlíteni SUIVEZ-t, aki a legfiatalabb tagja az ukrán csapatnak jelen pillanatban, és bravúros mérkőzését láthattunk tőle.
What a great reunion.
Látta a világbajnoki döntőt, és egész nap nagyon szép szereplése volt. Úgyhogy
But you know, whether it's in an individual match or whether it is in a team match, if it is Yannick Borel and you are between him and a gold medal, there is not much hope. There we have it. It is official. 45-37 the score. France over Ukraine to become our 2019 men's F8 team world champion.